We take for granted our parents will always be around to care for us, but our parents are fallible, human, and they will grow old. This is the story of my grandparents who are entering the fourth age, an age where they are the ones who need looking after. This is my grandmother Mari. She's 84. She's been a nurse, a wife, a mother, a teacher, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, a friend, and a matriarch. She has osteoporosis in her spine and rheumatoid arthritis, as well as high blood pressure. She's in a lot of pain at the moment and has to also look after my grandfather Des. Des also has rheumatoid arthritis, has had both his knees replaced, but most recently and critically has been diagnosed with lung failure, requiring him to be almost constantly on oxygen. These two fiercely independent people are now relying more on their family to ensure that they can get by.
Around about, probably about 1962 we purchased it. We were share milking in Carterton and we were leaving that job. And then the farm across the road became available, and so we moved in there and looked after the stud sheep and cattle from Awatea, from the Limbrick family farm. And we did intend buying that, and then Des's father died, and of course all the plans went awry then, things changed. So we then renovated this cottage and moved over here, and I think probably that might have been in about maybe 64. Not quite sure of the dates now, but round about that time. I think your mother was about 6. And and then we've been here ever since. I helped, well, Grandad built the house, of course, and built it very well, but I did lots of holding of boards and a bit of mixing of concrete and various things, but I was never allowed to paint, which didn't bother me one bit, because I hate painting. Originally it would have been probably a shepherd's cottage on a big farm, because there was a big 2-storied house over the back, and it would have just been a little square box with a front door and a window either side. Probably had 2 bedrooms and 1 living room, I would think. And probably quite a big family lived there. They'd have slept on the floor or shared beds. That's what people did. And that would have been in about the early 1870s. This is the deeds of our property. That's 1911, so that's also 100 years old. On the plan, there's Pokahiwi Road. There's where I took you. There's the boundary. And that's no man's land. And these are the people who owned it. Yeah. I can probably turn it over and tell you when we did. George Ernest Cook to Robert Coombridge.
Oh, there you are.
Down here.
At the top, I can see William Desmond Limbrick.
This was our 8th shift. Grandad had all sorts of schemes, but this was our final resting place, and I vowed we'd never leave it. It looks as though we might be now. An old saying, circumstances alter cases. So, we certainly are faced with moving now. When we sell this place, if someone will buy it, we're hoping to move to Waikanae so we can be close to Rosemary and Ian and Mark and Sheila and all you people. Because the Wairarapa is a great place to live, but it's a bit out of the way for people coming to spend a day, and everyone's working and busy, so it's better that 2 people shift make the move.
Finally, even the most independent people in the world eventually have to have help. If they live long enough, their health will fail them and they'll eventually have to get some kind of help. So I think that's how I'd probably play it. Yeah.
Birthday parties, engagements. We had staff parties from school. We had Mother's 80th, Des's Mother's 80th. Yeah, we had lots of celebrations and photograph albums full of them. And then we've had our wedding anniversaries, and we've had Christmases and barbecues. It's been a lovely family home where yeah. So it makes it sound such a long life when I talk about all those things.
Yeah.
Because probably when we came here, 28, how old would I have been? Born in 28, and so we came here in 64, 63 I think. No, yes, probably 63. So what's 28 from 35?
With my grandparents' house in the Wairarapa sold, they're now looking for a new home. A home that will give them the independence they're used to, while also ensuring that they can be cared for should they need it. It's not just my grandparents that are making a move. My parents are selling their home of 30 years as well to ensure that they can be close to them should they need them. This is a distinct switch in the roles of parent and child, where the parent is now the one that needs the care and the child is the one managing this for them.
2 toilets. Dressing room. Double bed.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll depend what Grandad thinks. This is a sensible one to buy.
It's wide enough for a wheelchair, that passage.
And we've got to think too that we'll be no better than we are now. So if we're going to go, if our health deteriorates, that's a big upkeep. So whereas this is quite manageable. So.